people, now smile on your brother. Let me see you get together. Love one another right now.
A year ago, Love One Another was the clarion call of America's hippies. Flower power bloomed, and Americans were fascinated by the long-haired young people who said that love and freedom would solve everything. Thousands flocked to their holy places in New York's East Village and San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury. Today, the magic is gone. Aimless and disorganized, the hippies have fallen prey to their own free spirit. Free love, free drugs, and too much free publicity have gradually corrupted them. And now a new kind of hippie has appeared, a drifter with no ideals at all.
Pardon me, sir, would you have any change you could spare?
Has something happened to Haight-Ashbury since last year? We hear it's not the same place.
Well, no, it isn't, because in the beginning, when they cleaned the streets and it was really nice, it was very respectable. Now it's sort of turned into a slum. I mean, the love-ins brought more and more people. And then people who were really just bums and just were trying to get into a good thing, you know, free food, free everything. And so they all just came in, you know, and a lot of really rotten people. And so now you've really got a bad thing. I mean, it used to be you could set your stuff down beside the road, nobody would touch it. And now it got so you couldn't even put your things inside of a building. Somebody would come along and take everything you had. And they didn't care, you know. It was all respect for the other person. And you didn't bother the other person, and you let them live their own life and love as they wanted to, and no really being hung up. And now all these people have come and messed the whole thing.
Well, like, you get trouble any place you go normally, you know, like somebody's going to find trouble or it's going to find you. But, like, it is scary for a girl to walk down the street because, like, you never know who's going to jump out of a doorway and maybe rape you or something, or, like, you get jumped and, like, there's a knife sticking in your back saying, give me all your money or else, you know, I'll kill you or something. Like, it is scary.
Is raping a problem down here? I mean,
Well, yes, because, like, I've been raped 3 times so far since I've been down here. And, like, it's really a bum scene.
Hey people, now smile on your brother. Let me see you get together. Love one another right now. Love one another right now.
Love is dead, and nowhere is it more obvious than in New York's East Village. Here, about 5,000 hippies have holed up in ratty apartments like this one. They live in poverty, filth, and idleness, in rebellion against America's middle-class values. The remnant of 300,000 teenagers who once called themselves hippies, they are the pathetic morning after of America's hippie revolt. This is Gorilla.
Good morning, people.
His girlfriend, Barbara. Their friends, Larry and Wayne. It's 11:30 in the morning, and they're just getting up.
Well, listen, we were going to show you around and everything, so I'm going to have to go get dressed. Pardon me, please. Do you know what time it is, baby? Yeah, real... Yeah. Baby, I usually don't wear it, because, like, I only have one set of drawers that are decent, you know?
Blue Ball almost wasn't here. The super gave us a bad time.
Yeah, wow, the super tried to buy me.
He told her he tried to buy me.
No need to waste time washing since the place has no bathroom. Biggest problem now is how to buy breakfast. As usual, they have no money, since as hippies, they don't believe in working. Their solution is called panhandling. To panhandle is to beg.
Give me spare change. Give me spare change.
No. Well, I don't really know how you do it. You just walk up to people and ask if they can spare any change. Politely, of course. And they can, they give it to you. If they can't, well, you don't get it.
Don't open my mouth. You don't tell me what to do, bitch. 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 Get her out of here.
Pardon me, sir, would you have any change you could spare?
Don't open my mouth. You don't tell me what to do, bitch.
Pardon me, sir, would you have any change you could spare?
I'm sorry.
How about a baby?
Why do you always wear theatrical makeup? Oh, wow, it could come off with a putty knife, but it's not theatrical.
Pardon me, sir, did you spare any change?
On quieter days, Larry may panhandle as much as $2 in 2 hours, enough to buy milk and cookies for everyone. Afterwards, they relax, usually in someone else's pad. Their own smells too badly to go back to. A pad is what a hippie like Eve calls home.
Eve, why are you down here? What's the message for you?
This is where I belong. Tell him, baby.
Like more.
This is where, like more? Shut up, Shelley. It's my pad.
It's my pad.
You're my old man. It's my pad. Our pad, dig it. This is where I belong. This is the only place where I can, like, do what I want to do and be what I want to be and not have people look at me. I know what you are, you know, like, and they know what I am and I don't care. Right.
Yeah, but it's not as nice as it was, though, is it?
No, it's getting very commercial, very, there's a lot of, can you use the word bullshit?
Nope.
Well, it's sorry about that. It's getting very phony, beautiful word, phony, plastic.
But what happened to love? What about this business of turning the other cheek? I mean,
Oh man, it don't work. We tried it. Like, the thing of it is, man, is like,
If you can avoid it, we'll avoid it, but if we can't,
if
well,
you don't hurt me,
right.
I won't hurt you, and I'll probably love you because you don't hurt me. If you bug me, I'll try and get away from you, or I'll push you away. If you continue to bug me, I'll break your head open, you know? Like, well, you saw the thing with the lady today. Lady? Oh, wow, what a word I used there.
Why do you hang on here, then?
It's just starting to get really lousy lately, but this is still a place where I'll wind up coming back to. It's
You're ever so humble.
It's home.
Home is where the hippie can escape from the world he hates. It's also where he can escape to another world altogether, the dangerous world of drugs.
Where are the things? Let's get everybody off.
On speed?
On speed. Now? Anybody want to drop?
To drop on speed is to take a dose of methadone, strongest of the amphetamine pep drugs. To take methadone is the be-all and end-all for hippies like these, an easy and overwhelming ecstasy that makes life for them worthwhile. It's also overwhelmingly bad for them, according to experts like San Francisco lawyer Brian Rohan.
There's a tremendous amount of speed up here, and it really is a disaster because I've never found anyone that has been able to accomplish anything behind speed. The kids, if there's no acid around and no grass, somebody's going to turn them on to speed.
Al Rose directs a free medical clinic for the Haight-Ashbury hippies in San Francisco.
They get what's called strung out on it, and it's a pretty bad scene because there isn't that much we can do for them.
Could you describe it medically? What happens to people who are on this stuff?
Well, speed kills in street terms. What happens is that methadone will, ruin your liver, kidneys. It also damages brain cells, which are one of the few cells in the body that don't regenerate.
These dangers don't seem to worry the drug takers, least of all at an all-night speed party.
Too old for the shifting gears, she's a shifting mother fire, don't you know? Well, she's a shifting mother for you, up from Tennessee. Well, where did you get it? What did it cost? Your V8 motor with a double exhaust, she's a rowing mother fire, don't you know? Well, she's a rowing mother for you, up from Tennessee. Well,
No speed party is complete without a joint of grass, sometimes called marijuana. It's a cheap way to supplement the more expensive methadone, though it's far less potent.
well, you ought to see my baby out on the town, shaking mama from her on down. She's a swinging mother for you, don't you know? Well, she's a swinging mother for you, up from Tennessee.
It looks like fun. It is, until afterwards when the speeder comes down. To come down is to suffer acute discomfort while the drug wears off. The true speeder gets around this by never coming down. Dosing himself at least once a day, he is always up.
Why do they feel the need to take speed? What is it going to do for them?
Well, we got a pretty rough society here in America right now. The kids are, especially the young males, are under a tremendous amount of pressure due to the war. I don't have to tell you about middle-class values, and the San Francisco scene pretty much has been a clearinghouse for the domestic problems and the middle-class problems of the rest of America. We've got a lot of kids from Kansas City and St. Louis and Minneapolis and New York who are coming from a pretty tough family situation, and they're going to turn to something. And if there's no grass and there's no acid, they'll turn to speed. And if it wasn't speed, they'd turn to something else.
Sociologist William Soskin.
Something has to become of them. I can't imagine that at 40, some of these 20-year-olds will still be living this kind of life, although they may be the potential candidates for large numbers of skid rows at 40. Instead of being alcoholics, they'll be meth freaks, or they may be filling up some of our state hospitals.
Psychologist Rick Kendall.
There is a fear of these drugs with the teenagers, but I'm amazed that there's as little fear as there is. It appears to me that these runaways will put anything down their mouth that they can get their hands on. We've had kids come in and have taken stuff they don't know even what it is that they've taken. It was something that they could buy.
Some of them aren't really surviving that well. They become, in street terms, what's called a speed freak. They walk around sort of in a daze, zombie-like. Actually, vegetables is what they become.
Shelley and Maureen are two of the estimated hundreds of thousands of Americans using amphetamines to excess. Unlike pill users, they prefer shooting up with a needle, which gives a bigger thrill. They also like grass and acid, the street word for LSD.
All we really do is have fun.
What's a typical day? I mean, a day that's a good day. Think back over the last couple of weeks. What did you do?
Good day. Can't remember any. Well, I'll tell you what happened yesterday. Well, woke up about 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's early for us, yeah.
Left here about 2 when I went uptown. Then I came back about 4:30. Came back here. Went out again. Came back in about 11. Then I went out again till about 2. Then I took some dope and then I went
We all
to
took some
sleep.
dope, but I didn't get off.
I went to sleep about 5:30 in the morning.
What do you do when you go out?
Oh,
Nothing.
all kinds of things. I usually go out to
Nothing
see if
really.
anybody has any spare dope,
Yeah,
or if anybody wants to buy any dope.
that's right.
You know? Like, a good day is usually when you find somebody who turns you on to something like acid or, grass or something. Like, mostly I've been in the apartment for the past week smoking grass because, the neighbors have some. And it's been a pretty good week.
What do you do for bread, though? I mean, that's the what it comes down to.
I sell dope.
Yeah. We're dope peddlers.
We're not really dope peddlers, we just sell a lot of it. That's all.
Right.
And then we panhandle. That's all.
That's all, for as long as they can manage to survive. Of course, they are young, and young bodies can withstand more dope than old ones. But the effects can already be seen in their faces. Maureen is 16 years old. Shelley is 14 years old. That may seem young for a girl to be on her own. In fact, World in Action found similar girls who were only 12. They are the runaways, the underage teenagers who form the largest group among the hippies today. Rebelling against parents, school, and the small towns they are expected to fit into, they run to the cities, hoping to become hippies and be free. What actually happens to them worries everyone, especially parents. Psychologist Rick Kendall.
I get the feeling with the parents that I've talked to that it's sort of an unspoken fear. Very seldom will they mention it. But if I mention it, that it'll come up. They'll try to get at it indirectly. They'll ask, how do the kids make money? How do they survive? I had one parent say, I understand that the kids can stay in the crash pads for a few days and then they're expected to go out and make money. As she wanted to know, how do they do it? And of course, one of the major ways is they start selling drugs on the street.
Kendall helped get 13-year-old runaway Janice Everidge back to her family in Chicago.
Wait, you must have been kind of worried while this was going on. What was going through your
We
mind?
was out of our mind for 7 days. I mean, we was completely nuts almost. She was on the bus or traveling for 3 days. And then I guess she left on Monday, and it was on Friday night that Reverend Beggs got in touch with us. Now, we had the police looking for her all that time, but they hadn't come up with nothing. And the first thing I thought about, that she had been kidnapped, We couldn't eat, we couldn't sleep while she was gone, because all we could think about, and something bad had happened.